Jessica, don't go that far. The reef ends there.
Relax, I will be fine.
I just want a shot of the turtle.
It is too deep. You are leaving the boat's sight.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Just keep watching me.
Welcome to True Animal Terrors, where real danger meets real stories. Don't look away. March 8th, 2015. The Bahamian sun rose like polished gold, burning away dawn's last shadows. Waves glittered in shades of turquoise and sapphire, so clear they seemed unreal, so calm they promised peace. The air tasted of salt and hibiscus, sweet on the tongue, the kind of day travelers dreamed about when they booked honeymoons in glossy brochures. But beneath that shining surface where reef met void, waited a corridor older than human memory. Locals called it the edge of paradise. Scientists called it the drop-off, and predators called it home. The Bahamas had known beauty, but also blood. Shark incidents were not rare. Fishermen told stories of limbs pulled from reefs of divers vanishing in seconds of boats returning empty. Tiger sharks had long prowled these waters, bold and opportunistic. They earned the title garbage collectors of the sea, not out of insult but fact. Their stomachs contained everything from turtle shells to seabirds, dolphins, even license plates. They did not hesitate. They did not question. They struck at what moved, what glimmered, what bled. And when the water turned still again, only the current carried whispers of what had happened. Jessica Chen knew these facts better than most. At 26, she had been a star athlete and scholar, her life balanced between swimming lanes and biology labs. At UCLA, she had sliced through pools with the power of an Olympian and later turned her focus toward marine ecosystems. Professors praised her discipline. Teammates admired her fire. To Jessica, the ocean was both classroom and cathedral. She wanted to protect its creatures, even the ones most feared. Sharks fascinated her. She believed that they were misunderstood, vilified by movies and headlines. She repeated it often. Sharks don't hunt people. They mistake us. They test us. But they don't hate us. David, her husband of just 1 week, trusted her without hesitation. A software engineer from San Francisco, he was more comfortable at a keyboard than a keel. The ocean made him uneasy, its vastness swallowing him in ways he could not explain. But Jessica's confidence was magnetic. She had planned every detail of their honeymoon, reef dives, boat rentals, hours exploring underwater gardens. To him, she was a guide into a world he never would have touched alone. To her, he was a partner who gave her courage by believing in her so fully. That morning, they rented a 22-foot vessel stocked with snorkeling gear, sandwiches, and a small waterproof camera Jessica carried like a trophy. They steered toward the reef edge, where shallow coral fell suddenly into a chasm of dark blue water. David hesitated at the anchor line, scanning the horizon. "Are you sure it's safe this far out?" he asked, voice tight hand gripping the rail. Jessica smiled, her short dark hair plastered by sea spray. "Safer than you think. Sharks don't come hunting us. They're curious, that's all. If I meet one, I'll know what to do." She squeezed his shoulder, her words as much reassurance as challenge. He nodded, though doubt lingered in his eyes. The reef shimmered below them, a kaleidoscope of color. Coral towers bristled with parrotfish and angelfish. Rays stirred sand clouds with lazy wings. Jessica slipped into the water with a clean dive, her body moving like it belonged there. Every stroke was practiced, every breath calm. She chased schools of yellow tangs, their bodies flashing like coins in sunlight. David leaned against the rail, watching, smiling despite himself. Jessica's muscles flowed with memory. Years in competitive swimming had forged her body into an engine of rhythm and strength. She felt alive, free, certain. Then from the corner of her eye, she spotted a sea turtle gliding effortlessly toward the darker edge of the reef. Her pulse quickened. She wanted a closer shot for her camera, a prize image to carry home. She followed strokes, lengthening, camera-raised eyes locked on the turtle's slow, steady arc. The turtle drifted farther into open water. Jessica trailed behind the reef, fading beneath her, the color draining from the seafloor. Ahead stretched only blue, endless and bottomless. She barely noticed how far she had gone. David on the boat shaded his eyes, tracking the faint silhouette of his wife, cutting through sunlight dapple. 50 yards, then 60, still within view but no longer near safety. Far below, a predator had already noticed. The tiger shark was 12 feet long, her body striped like shadows across steel. She prowled the drop-off zone, the perfect ambush corridor where reef life spilled into the abyss. Her senses flared the moment Jessica entered her range. Electroreceptors along her snout hummed with the faint signals of muscle contraction and heartbeat. Lateral lines traced each kick of Jessica's legs. No blood was needed. The vibrations alone painted a target. For the shark, there was no question of morality, no pause for decision. Her mind was ancient circuitry, see movement, evaluate strike. She drifted closer, circling wide arcs, blending with the gloom. Each pass brought her nearer, her massive head swinging side to side, her black eyes unblinking. Jessica, transfixed by the turtle, never looked down. The ocean above her was light. The ocean below her was shadow, and somewhere in between, death waited. The turtle flapped its wide flippers, slipping into the blue like a ghost. Jessica raised her camera bubbles, spilling as she exhaled her strokes. Smooth, sure, strong. She felt the calm of mastery, the pride of someone who knew water as second skin. But beneath her, the predator closed the distant stripes, camouflaged in shifting light. The tiger shark's tail flexed once, then again, each thrust doubling her speed. Her wide head rose, jaws loosening, serrated teeth flashing pale. Jessica sensed movement at last, a ripple in the corner of her eye. She twisted, mouthpiece clenched tight, camera dropping from her hand. For a heartbeat, she saw nothing, only blue emptiness. Then the shark erupted from below. 12 feet of muscle and hunger surged upward. Her mouth opened in a cavernous gape lined with rows of teeth designed to cleave bone and crush shells. The first impact struck like a truck. The shark clamped Jessica's waist teeth, piercing neoprene, slicing into flesh. Pain exploded through her body. Air ripped from her lungs in a strangled cry. She screamed into the water, her voice muffled by bubbles, but one word carried David. On deck, David's head snapped up. He saw the water churn, saw a striped shadow, saw crimson burst into the turquoise sea. Jessica, he screamed, voice breaking, echoing across the open water. He stumbled for the rail, arms outstretched, helpless. Below, Jessica, thrashed arms, flailing fingers, clawing at nothing. The shark shook her violently, head whipping side to side, her ribs cracked, spine crushed. Blood poured outward, clouding visibility in a spreading bloom. She kicked instinctively, legs pounding water, but strength drained with every pulse. Inside her mind, thoughts flickered in fragments. This can't be real. I know what to do. Sharks don't want me. Please, not like this. The predator did not relent. She twisted downward, tail lashing, dragging Jessica deeper. The surface light shrank above, replaced by cold shadow. Jessica tried once more to cry out, bubbles spilling from her mouth as she sobbed underwater. Please help me. Her words broke into choking silence. The shark's jaws tightened and her movements slowed, then faltered. From the boat, David's world collapsed. He saw the thrashing fade, the water turned dark with blood, the glint of stripes twisting downward. He shouted into the radio, voice cracking incoherent. Shark took her. Send help now. Coordinates, please hurry. His hands shook as he fumbled with the dial, eyes locked on the stains spreading wider and wider, the place where his wife had vanished. The minutes that followed stretched into eternity. David stared, begging the sea to return what it had taken. He shouted her name until his throat tore, until the words became only sound. Within half an hour, the Bahamian Coast Guard arrived, cutters slicing the waves, helicopters buzzing overhead. Divers dropped into the water, sonar scanned the depths. They found fragments, shreds of neoprene straps from her gear, the small waterproof camera drifting silent, its lens cracked. But Jessica was gone. The search lasted 3 days. Boats swept hundreds of square miles. Divers explored every cave, every reef crack, every canyon lip. Helicopters dragged nets, cameras scoured depths. Again and again, the sea returned nothing. The tiger shark had vanished into the abyss, carrying its prize into a world humans could not follow. David remained through it all, pale and hollow, refusing to leave the dock where search crews departed each morning. His eyes stayed fixed on the horizon, as if the ocean might out of guilt return Jessica's body. When officials ended the operation, he collapsed, head in his hands. A rescuer placed a hand on his shoulder. There was nothing you could have done, nothing anyone could do. Authorities issued their report. Jessica's death was ruled a tragic accident, an encounter with a tiger shark in natural hunting territory. No fault was found with the rental boat, no error in her preparation. The advisory was simple: avoid solo swimming near drop-off zones, maintain boat proximity, respect predator corridors. Yet for those who heard the story, fear grew. The Bahamas had always been paradise, but now it carried a darker edge. David returned to San Francisco alone, carrying a suitcase heavier with grief than belongings. Jessica's family met him at the airport, their sobs mingling with his silence. He handed them her notebook of research waterlogged but intact pages filled with sketches of coral and notes on predator habits. At UCLA, a memorial service filled the marine biology department's largest hall. Professors stood at the podium remembering her as brilliant, fearless, passionate. Teammates from her swim days carried flowers, eyes red from tears. A classmate read aloud one of her last journal entries: "The ocean is not cruel, it is only itself. We must meet it with respect, not fear." Those words broke David. He left the hall before the service ended, unable to bear the cruel symmetry. She had believed sharks were misunderstood, that they did not hunt people. Yet her life had ended in the jaws of one. Months later, stricter guidelines spread quietly among Bahamian tour operators. Signs warned tourists against venturing alone beyond reefs. Captains instructed divers to stay within sight of their vessels. But the changes came too late for Jessica. Her story lingered not only as a tale of tragedy, but as a reminder. The ocean could be beautiful beyond words, but beauty did not mean safety. In the blue void beyond the reef, where shadows drifted and predators circled, unseen paradise ended, and the ancient law of survival began. If this story of us is about 9 out of 10, subscribe so that we can entertain you more. On the other hand, you find this story ridiculous, comment down below. Please let us know what we can improve to bring you a more enjoyable time on our channel. Your support means the world to us.